Have you ever walked into a place or a home and immediately felt drained, unwanted, or disrespected? Maybe you've left feeling emotionally exhausted, as if you've just given away your peace without getting anything in return. If this sounds familiar, then this video is exactly what you need to hear. As we grow older, our time, energy, and emotional well-being become more precious. We begin to crave peace over chaos and genuine relationships over forced connections. But there's one crucial mistake that many of us continue to make: visiting places or spending time with people who drain us rather than uplift us. In this video, we'll talk about the 7 types of homes and people you should avoid to ensure that you protect your peace, prioritize your happiness, and embrace a fulfilling, stress-free life in your later years. By the end of this video, you'll understand why protecting your emotional health is just as important as protecting your physical health. You'll learn how to identify situations that leave you feeling unimportant, unwanted, or disrespected, and more importantly, how to avoid them. We'll help you reclaim your time, your energy, and your happiness by teaching you to choose environments that truly nourish your mind and soul. If you're ready to take control of your peace and stop wasting your precious time in the wrong places, keep watching. You won't want to miss the practical insights that can change the way you spend your later years. If you are not subscribed, I recommend subscribing and activating the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support means a lot to me, and if you enjoyed this video, you can help me continue spreading the valuable lessons by liking and sharing it. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. If you don't, please comment 0 to let me know how I can improve and make better videos for you. Now, let's begin. Number 1. The home where you are not genuinely welcome. There are few experiences in life more soul-crushing than walking into a space where you can feel, with every fiber of your being, that you are not truly wanted. It's not just a passing feeling. It's a deep, undeniable truth that gnaws at your heart and mind. The air feels heavier, charged with a coldness that has nothing to do with the temperature of the room. It's in the way the door opens. Maybe a little too slowly, maybe with a tight-lipped smile that doesn't quite reach the eyes. The greeting is polite, but it's hollow, a mere formality rather than an invitation. The enthusiasm in their voice is missing, like it's a chore they're ticking off rather than a genuine joy to see you. You can sense it in every interaction, too. The small talk that fills the silence isn't light or comforting. It feels forced, like a script that they're reading from rather than a conversation that comes naturally. It's the way they look away when you speak, or maybe you catch them glancing at their watch, checking their phone, or fidgeting in ways that scream impatience. It's subtle yet painfully obvious. And then there's the lingering silence after your words fall into the room, where you can feel the absence of connection, the emotional distance that's been set between you, even though you're physically present. It's the silence that tells you that you are, in their eyes, a mere inconvenience, a disruption to their day that they'd rather not have to entertain. You start to wonder if you're just filling up space, perhaps there because it's expected, or worse, out of obligation. Maybe you've been invited because it would look bad if you weren't, or because there's a sense of familial duty, but there's no real desire to spend time with you. That sting of not being valued is so much sharper as we get older. As we grow, we should be intentional about the people we surround ourselves with. Our time becomes more precious and more finite, and it deserves to be spent where it is not just acknowledged but appreciated. There's something profoundly sad about realizing you've been relegated to the role of token guest, the one who is only present because it would be rude to exclude you. You might find yourself holding on to false hope, trying to make the situation better by offering up more of yourself, trying to fill that emotional void with kindness, laughter, and stories. But it never seems to stick, does it? No matter how much of yourself you give, they never seem to meet you halfway. It's like talking to a brick wall. Your words get absorbed by a void, and you leave feeling more empty than when you arrived. The truth is, we don't have to tolerate this kind of treatment. Not now, not ever. We are worthy of more than being an afterthought. As time goes on, we have earned the right to be surrounded by people who lift us and who value us. Not out of duty, but out of a deep, heartfelt appreciation. If you ever feel like you're just a shadow in the corner, if you ever feel like your presence is something to be endured rather than embraced, then it's time to reevaluate your place in that space. Your energy, your love, your laughter. They are precious gifts that should never be taken for granted. Don't keep showing up just to satisfy someone else's sense of propriety or because you feel an obligation to fulfill some outdated notion of family or friendship. Life is far too short for that. In your golden years, you deserve to be in spaces where you are not only accepted but cherished, where the people around you make you feel seen, heard, and loved. Where you don't have to beg for attention, where your worth is not measured by how well you fit into someone else's expectations. Remember, you are a rare and beautiful soul worthy of real connection. You deserve to be in places where your presence is a joy, where the warmth in the room is not forced but natural. Don't waste another minute in a place where you're made to feel like you're anything less than a gift. Go where your soul is welcomed with open arms, where your laughter fills the space with ease, and where you can truly be yourself without hesitation. Your time, your energy, your heart, they are too precious to offer to anyone who won't return them with the respect and kindness they deserve. Choose wisely, and let your presence shine in places where it's truly appreciated. Number 2. The home where drama and negativity rule. Some homes, sadly, are perpetually overshadowed by drama and negativity. It's as though every conversation is carefully crafted to provoke, ignite, and sustain conflict. These are the homes where arguments flare up over trivial matters, where complaints are not just a passing remark but a daily ritual. And it's not just the arguments that leave an impact. It's the way the air feels thick, as if negativity hangs in the corners of the room like a dark cloud that never lifts. You walk through the door expecting a moment of peace, but instead, you are immediately confronted with a whirlwind of tension. The noise of harsh words and judgment fills the space, leaving you feeling more exhausted with each passing minute. When you're younger, you might brush it off, telling yourself it's just part of life. But as you age, you start to realize how deeply it affects you. It's draining, soul-crushing even, to be in an environment where negativity is so deeply ingrained that it becomes the foundation of every interaction. What once may have been tolerable now feels like an emotional weight you can't afford to carry. You begin to question why you continue to subject yourself to it. There's a deep ache in your chest when you realize that these negative cycles are taking their toll on your emotional health. As we grow older, our priorities shift. Our peace of mind becomes something we hold on to with greater intention. We begin to recognize that time is fleeting, and we don't have the luxury of wasting it in spaces that only bring stress, frustration, and pain. Our emotional health is just as important as our physical health, and we've lived long enough to understand that the people and environments around us play a major role in shaping our well-being. It's not just about the occasional argument or a bit of gossip. It's the emotional environment that dictates how we feel when we walk through that door. It's the way the constant bickering, the judgment, and the negativity can drain us even when we haven't been directly involved in the conversation. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. You deserve better than that. You deserve a home where peace reigns, where love and understanding take center stage. A space that fills you with warmth, comfort, and joy instead of leaving you feeling emotionally depleted. You deserve to be surrounded by those who lift you, who fill the room with positive energy, and who make you feel safe, supported, and at ease. It's not just a luxury, it's a necessity for your well-being. When you've experienced enough of life to know the value of inner peace, you shouldn't settle for anything less. You've earned a sanctuary, a place where you can breathe deeply and rest without the weight of drama hanging over you. So, when faced with homes and environments that thrive on negativity, remember that you have every right to walk away and preserve your peace. Never let anyone or anything make you feel like you should settle for less. Number 3. The home where you are only needed, not valued. It's heartbreaking when you find yourself in a place where you're only seen as a resource, a means to an end, and not as someone deserving of love, respect, or genuine companionship. Some only reach out to you when they need something, whether it's asking for help with their children, needing assistance with chores, or, worst of all, seeking a financial bailout. But when the tables are turned, and it's your turn to need someone, when your heart aches for a listening ear or you crave a moment of companionship, suddenly, they're nowhere to be found. This is where the true sting lies. It's not just the absence of help when you need it more, but the emotional coldness that accompanies it. It feels like you are being used, like your time and your kindness are nothing more than tools for their convenience. Your worth should never be tied to your ability to serve others. Yet too often, we allow ourselves to be drawn into these imbalanced dynamics. What makes this even more painful is that these relationships rarely come with any acknowledgement of your contributions. They don't take the time to check in on you, to ask how you're doing or what's on your mind. It's a one-way street that only flows in one direction, towards them. And while you may feel a sense of obligation or duty to help, the truth is that your energy, your time, and your compassion are far too valuable to be drained by people who don't reciprocate your care. Let's be real. A relationship built solely on what one person can do for the other is never going to be fulfilling. It leaves you empty, exhausted, and emotionally depleted. We deserve more than that. We deserve connections that nurture us, not ones that take from us. A one-sided relationship will drain your spirit, and it's not worth the toll it takes on your heart. Trust me when I say that if someone only reaches out when they need something but never shows an interest in your well-being, it's time to reevaluate their place in your life. In the end, don't waste your precious energy on people who only see you for what you can do for them. You are worthy of relationships that are based on mutual respect, love, and understanding, not just needs and favors. So, guard your heart and be mindful of where you invest your time, because the people who truly care about you will be there, not just when they need something, but when you need them too. Number 4. The home that feels like a burden. Have you ever visited someone's home, only to be met with a feeling of heaviness, as if you're intruding on their space rather than being welcomed? It's such a subtle yet deeply hurtful experience that sticks with you long after you've left. You walk in, and immediately, there's that sigh, that exasperated breath that they might think you don't notice, but you do. It lingers in the air, thick with unspoken tension. You can feel their gaze flicker toward their watch, their phone, or the clock on the wall, almost as if they're counting down the minutes until you're out the door. That quiet impatience, the way they can't wait for you to leave, makes you feel small, like you're nothing more than a temporary nuisance in their busy world. Every word, every movement feels like it's just a way to pass the time until you're gone, and it stings. It stings because deep down, you know that a home, a true home, is supposed to be a refuge, a place of warmth, comfort, and safety. It should be a space where you can rest your soul, a sanctuary where the outside world's chaos falls away, and you are welcomed with open arms. But instead, when you're treated as if your presence is a burden, it shakes your sense of self. You start to question your worth, wondering why you aren't seen as valuable enough to be present, to be enjoyed. And that is a painful place to be. It's as though your existence in their space is a mere formality, a momentary pause in their otherwise busy and important lives. You try to remind yourself that everyone has their struggles and their stress, and maybe that's influencing their behavior, but the truth remains. No one should make you feel like an inconvenience. Not in their home. Not in their life. A home, no matter who it is, should be a place where you feel safe, seen, and appreciated. It should be a space where time slows down, where laughter flows freely, and where you feel like you belong, not a place where you're checked on only when it's convenient for them. You shouldn't feel like you need to earn their attention or, worse, beg for a moment of their time. The energy in a space should be nurturing and uplifting, not draining or cold. If you ever find yourself feeling like you're just a guest, merely tolerated, then it's time to listen to that feeling. Your intuition is speaking to you, and it's telling you that you deserve better. Respect yourself enough to walk away. It may hurt to admit, but there's an undeniable truth. No one, not even the people you care for, should make you feel like a burden. Your presence, your time, your attention, and your heart are gifts that should be cherished, not cast aside. You deserve to be in spaces where you are loved and celebrated, where you don't have to question your value. If being around certain people or in certain environments is making you feel small or insignificant, it's a clear sign to stop visiting. Prioritize your well-being, and know that it's okay to remove yourself from spaces that bring you more pain than peace. Walk away, not out of anger, but out of self-respect. You are worthy of feeling wanted, of feeling valued, of feeling at home wherever you go. Don't settle for less than the love and care you deserve. Number 5. The home where you are disrespected. Respect is not just something we hope for. It is an essential, non-negotiable part of being human. It is as fundamental to our emotional well-being as air is to our survival. Without it, we wither, our self-worth crumbles, and our sense of belonging fades. It's a heart-wrenching reality that some homes, places where you should feel safe, loved, and cherished, become the very spaces that strip away that basic need. Imagine being in a house where, no matter what you say or do, it feels as though your presence is a mere inconvenience. You speak, and your words are dismissed or interrupted as though you don't matter. You share your opinions, and they are met with a cold, indifferent silence or worse, a dismissive wave of the hand. It's as if you're invisible, and no one cares to acknowledge the experiences that have shaped you, the lessons you've learned, or the wisdom you offer. In those moments, it feels like the very essence of who you are is being overlooked and undervalued, as if you're nothing more than a background figure in someone else's story. Being treated this way is more than frustrating. It is deeply painful. It strikes at the very heart of your being. You've lived through years, decades even, of challenges, joys, and triumphs, and yet, you're made to feel like your voice, your perspective and your worth are inconsequential. The constant barrage of interruptions, the feeling of being disregarded, the absence of genuine listening, it takes its toll on your spirit. It's soul-crushing to constantly battle the sense of being ignored and dismissed. This is not just about words. It's about how we are treated in our most vulnerable moments. It's about how people's actions, or lack thereof, can communicate to us that we are not truly seen or heard. If you find yourself in a home like this, my advice is simple, though it may be difficult. Leave. You don't owe anyone your peace. You don't owe anyone your emotional well-being, especially when they treat you like a nuisance or an afterthought. No one should ever make you feel less than you are. You are a person of immense value, worthy of respect, love, and kindness. Surround yourself with those who see you, who hear you, and who cherish the essence of who you are. Find people who not only listen to you but also appreciate the richness of your life's experiences. Seek out relationships where there is mutual respect, where your words matter, and where your presence is not a burden but a blessing. Life is too precious, too short, to stay in places that make you feel small, insignificant, or unworthy. There are people out there who will honor your thoughts, your contributions, and the person you've become. Seek them. Love yourself enough to walk away from situations that drain you. You deserve to be surrounded by people who appreciate you, not just in your successes but in your challenges, your struggles, and your quiet moments. Never forget that you are deserving of a space where respect, kindness, and love flourish. Don't settle for anything less. You are worth more. Number 6. The home that is toxic for your mental health. Have you ever walked into a home and immediately felt like the air was too heavy to breathe? The moment you cross the threshold, you can feel the weight of unspoken tension, an invisible force that presses on your chest, making each breath harder to take. It's not just the physical space, it's the energy, the vibe, the unwelcoming atmosphere that makes you feel like an outsider in your skin. You walk in and instantly sense that something isn't right. Maybe it's the way people look at you, with coldness or indifference, or how their words, seemingly innocent, cut through the air with sharpness, leaving emotional scars that linger long after you leave. You can feel the discomfort in every room, like you're walking on eggshells, constantly adjusting your behavior, wondering what will trigger the next moment of tension. The more time you spend there, the more emotionally drained you feel. It's as if every conversation, every glance, and every awkward silence sucks a little more of your energy away, leaving you tired, unsettled, and longing for the comfort of your own space. It's not just a feeling of being unwelcome, it's the weight of hostility or indifference, the kind of atmosphere that can leave you questioning your worth. You leave, your mind racing with thoughts, trying to figure out what went wrong, what you could have done differently, but deep down, you know it wasn't you. It wasn't anything you did. It's the space. It's the people. It's the energy that surrounds you. And here's the harsh truth. Your mental health is too precious to be spent in environments that drain you. It's easy to dismiss those uncomfortable feelings, to tell yourself you're being too sensitive or that it's not a big deal. But those small moments of discomfort accumulate over time, and the impact on your well-being can be devastating. Your emotional state is just as important as your physical health. If visiting someone's home makes you feel anxious, sad, or stressed every single time, it's time to reassess. Don't let guilt or a sense of obligation tie you to places that make you feel small, unimportant, or unsafe. You deserve to be surrounded by people who lift you and make you feel seen, heard, and valued. Sometimes, we hold on to relationships or obligations out of a sense of duty, but the reality is that you're not obligated to expose yourself to toxic environments. Protect your peace, your sanity, your soul. If a space consistently makes you feel drained or unsettled, you don't owe anyone an explanation for stepping away. Your emotional well-being should be your top priority. Don't feel bad for choosing to be in spaces that make you feel comfortable, loved, and respected. You deserve to thrive, to be in places that nourish your spirit and let you breathe easy, free from the heaviness of negativity. Life is far too short to continue subjecting yourself to places that don't serve your well-being. Choose the environments that allow you to grow, to feel joy, and to feel safe in your skin. Trust that by protecting your heart and mind, you are choosing your happiness. And that, my dear, is something worth fighting for. Number 7. The home that no longer aligns with your growth. As we grow older, we often experience a profound shift in our priorities. In our youth, we may have been driven by ambition, achievement, and the quest for social validation. But as time passes, our focus begins to settle on the things that truly matter: wisdom, peace, and the comfort of meaningful conversations. We start to crave deeper connections, the kind of conversations that stir the soul, and the kind of peace that restores our spirit. Sadly, not everyone experiences this shift. Some remain trapped in the same toxic cycles, clinging to shallow discussions, self-destructive behaviors, and old patterns that never seem to evolve. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. It's painful, isn't it? Watching people you care about remain stuck, unwilling, or unable to change. But here's the truth that many find difficult to accept. When a home no longer supports your growth, when the people around you no longer encourage you to be your best self, it is okay to step away. It's not a betrayal. It's an act of love for yourself, for your well-being. You deserve an environment that nurtures your mind, body, and soul, not one that drains your energy and leaves you feeling empty. The beauty of aging, however, is that we begin to see with a clearer vision. With every passing year, we realize that not every place or relationship is meant to last. We begin to see through the illusion of forever and understand that some people, some homes, and some spaces were never meant to walk the entire path with us. And that's okay. It's natural. The true act of wisdom comes when we let go of what no longer serves us, with no bitterness, no regret, just understanding and grace. We've spent enough time with the people, places, and situations that no longer bring us peace. Now is the time to value ourselves enough to choose environments that uplift us, and it's one of the greatest gifts we can give ourselves. It's a reminder that you're not bound to places that no longer align with the person you are becoming. There's freedom in releasing what no longer fits. Time, our most precious and irreplaceable asset, constantly reminds us of how fleeting it is. Each moment spent in negativity, Each hour wasted in a toxic environment steals something precious from us. We can never get it back. The beauty of aging is understanding the value of time and realizing that we can't afford to waste what little remains. At this stage, we've earned the right to choose how we spend our days, who we spend them with, and which spaces we invest our energy in. There's no room left for people or places that only bring you discomfort, guilt, or resentment. We are not here to keep relationships alive simply because of obligation or fear of judgment. It's not selfish to let go of what no longer serves you. It's necessary. Protect your time. Protect your peace. Walking away from what no longer aligns with your soul's growth is an act of self-respect, not cruelty. It's acknowledging that some environments simply no longer have a place in your life, and that's okay. There's no shame in walking away from those who drain you from places that no longer feel like home. Letting go is a choice to honor your emotional and mental well-being. You've given enough of yourself already. You've tried hard enough. Now, it's time to reclaim what's yours, your peace. And that peace is something worth protecting fiercely, without guilt, without hesitation. True happiness, when you strip away all the distractions, is found in the connections that genuinely nourish you. In the end, joy isn't found in forced visits, superficial interactions, or trying to please everyone around you. True joy comes from those precious relationships where respect flows freely, boundaries are honored, and love is unconditional. Let go of the notion that you need to keep everyone in your life. Instead, cherish the people who uplift you and who make your heart feel lighter. Those are the relationships worth investing in, the ones that bring warmth to your soul. In the end, a life surrounded by a handful of real connections is far more valuable than a life cluttered with countless empty ones. And perhaps the most important lesson we can learn as we grow older is this: we must live for ourselves, not for others. The older we get, the more we come to understand that not every invitation needs to be accepted, not every call needs to be returned, and not every door needs to stay open. The ultimate freedom in old age is the freedom to choose how to spend your time, where to invest your energy, and who to welcome into your life. So, let go of guilt, fear, or the pressures of society that tell you what you should do. Live for you. Choose peace. Choose happiness. Choose to honor yourself and your journey. Because at the end of the day, you are the one who gets to decide how you spend the precious moments you have left. And that choice should always be yours and yours alone. As we've explored today, life is too precious to spend in spaces, relationships, or environments that no longer nurture our growth and happiness. With every year that passes, we gain more clarity about what truly matters: our peace, our time, and our well-being. So, as you reflect on everything we've discussed, I want to ask you, what have you learned so far? What's one powerful insight that you will carry forward and practice in your own life? I'd love to hear your thoughts, so please comment below and share with us one thing that stood out to you from this video and how you plan to bring it into your own life. If you like this video, don't forget to leave your comment below, and please like, share, and subscribe to our channel so we can continue to bring you content that empowers and inspires. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.